Hello and welcome. This is Ryan Anderson here again. I wanted to get on here and talk about a couple things. First and foremost, I wanted to say hello and thank you to everybody that's added me or responded to my invitation on Facebook. I can't explain how much that means to me, simply because of the fact that I am trying to get my podcast up and going. So if you're new with me on Facebook, please jump on my page. Scroll down, you'll find a couple of videos, says the Common Folk Podcast. It's a podcast I've created so I can get on and talk with people and let them tell their stories. And these are, I call it the Common Folk Podcast, but they are very uncommon people with uncommon lives. I have two out so far. The first one I did was with one of my old platoon sergeants out of the military, named Fernie Gonzalez. He is a badass dude. Dude is just incredible. It's a little rough go on my first one. We'll move on from there. My second one was with another guy that I served with. His name is Nate Taylor. He is a physician's assistant. Incredibly smart guy. Get on and watch his as well. It's awesome. They're about an hour long each. Something you guys could watch on the way to work or listen to on the way to work and make it that way. Next, I would appreciate it if you got on and either joined my YouTube or my Spotify accounts. It helps algorithm with everything, gets my stuff up to the front of the line before everybody else's. You know how it goes. Next, the Common Folk Podcast is going to continue. There's been scheduling conflicts between myself and some of the guys that I'm going to interview. But that's just life. I get it. So, therefore, I wasn't going to do this right now, but sometime this week or middle of next week, I will be getting on just by myself, and I'll be explaining my story. Childhood, adolescent years, teenage years, all the way to adulthood. It might not interest a lot of people. I get it, but that's what this is for. And so you can get out as an individual, approach me, talk to me. If you want to tell us your story, more than welcome to talk to you. We can either do it over video chat, or you can come to me, or I can come to you. If our schedules meet, we'll get together and talk. We'll publish this. We'll let other people hear it, and we'll go from there. There's no judgment here. I get it. Everybody has their own walks of life. That being said, let me just give a little small introduction of myself. I'm Ryan Anderson, born in Lander, Wyoming, raised all around the state for a while, and then we moved back home to Riverton. I grew up in a very poor family, very rough childhood. A lot of people go through a lot worse. So I'm not saying or trying to compare myself to anybody else, but it wasn't sturdy and it wasn't great. I joined the military. I had kids as a teenager and got married to my beautiful wife now at the age of 15. Then I joined the military at 17. After I joined the military, I originally joined the National Guard out of Utah. I deployed with them once. Figured out that I liked the whole military aspect of everything, the structure. It was a no-brainer, especially for a kid that had no other teachings as a kid. Had no structure in my life, so it filled a void very well. So I joined the active service. I went to infantry school. I've been stationed in the 82nd Airborne Division, 4th Brigade, 25th Infantry Division out of Alaska. I did a tour with them to Afghanistan in 2011, 2012. And then when I got back, the Army decided I needed to be an instructor somewhere after I pinned the staff's rank E6. And I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. And at Fort Benning, Georgia, I was an airborne school instructor. And I did many things at airborne school. And then I got hosed. And they tagged me with drill sergeant orders. So I was not only just an airborne school instructor, but I was a drill sergeant near the end of my career as well. ended up getting hurt in the military. I blew my knee out pretty bad, had to have knee surgery. Then I had some medical issues through some blood clots and found out that I had to be on anticoagulants the rest of my life. And if any of you know anything about the military, if you're an infantryman or in a combat MOS and you're on anticoagulants, you can't deploy. And if you can't deploy and you're in one of those MOSs, you're no good to the military anymore. So I was medically retired. After the military, I had a good buddy hook me up with a job in the oil field. It was just a very short-term thing. I was a roustabout and a truck driver for a while. And then I found a job in an acid refinery right outside of my hometown. And since I started the acid refinery going on my 7th year now, I've served in every operations position there at the refinery. And now I most recently got promoted to what they call the operations trainer. Essentially, it's just a technical writer position. And then I make sure all the operators and some of the other plant personnel stay up to date on all their trainings, whether that be OSHA required or company required, so on and so forth. But basically, I'm just a technical writer. I go through all of our procedures, rewrite them if they need to be rewritten, or reword them, add some dialogue to them, send them up the chain. They get approved. They get submitted. They roll out to my guys, and we move on. That's me in a nutshell. I will explain my life in a little more detail during my own podcast. If you're interested in that, it'll be out maybe Sunday. If not Sunday, it'll be next weekend. And then I have a guy in Sheridan that I'm eventually going to get to talk with him. And then a couple other guys I have on the back burner that I'm trying to coax them into coming out of their shell a little bit. But for all my new listeners, if you know anybody that you want to have them on here because they're interesting to you, or they're good people, or they've done awesome things in their life, please send me a message with their contact information so I can get on there, give them a call, or text them to see if they'll get on and join me. It's informal. I don't have a script. I don't have a big block of questions that I'm asking them. We're just going over their life. We're talking. That's it. So thank you again for everybody getting on here and listening to this, and I will see you on the next podcast.